You know, the United States of America was the greatest country before Trump, and it's the greatest country now after Trump. The white supremacists want to go back. They want to go back to the days when it was legal to own slaves.
You are about to be entertained by the ape, the young man who has become a legend in his own time. You must answer. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Oh, yes, indeed. What's up, everybody? Yours truly, Ron Kelly, the Ron Kelly Talk Radio Show. Once again, it's Thursday. It's February 10th already, 2022. And you know what? I'm still getting kind of tongue-tied when it comes to saying 2022. Anyway, great to have you in. Welcome to the show. Tell the truth. You know, I just hate when people just lie. You know, I mean, I'm not going to say I never told a lie. I'm sure I have. But, you know, when I make a commitment to do something, you know, I keep my commitment. Either I can do it or I can't do it, one or the other. I'm not going to tell you or anybody that I'm going to do something, and then I turn around and don't do it, and then don't contact the person or anything. So don't lie. If you can't do something, if you can't do something, then just don't, you know, hey, look, I can't do that. But don't lie. Don't lie. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Because I hate when people do that. You know, I hate when people do that. And then they don't call you, don't say anything to you. I mean, did something happen to me? No, not today. But don't lie. If you make a commitment, keep your commitment. If you can't do it, just say you can't do it. Ain't nothing wrong with saying, I can't do it. Anyway, everybody, welcome to the program. It's the Ron Kelly Show. And it's on blogtalkradio.com, the RonKellyShow.com, and on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, as a matter of fact. And we're going to be going, I'm going to another, I'm going to check it out over the week and see how difficult it's going to be for you guys to access me on Facebook, because I'm switching to another format where I'm going to be on 30 different, switching to another format, we're going to be on 30 different platforms. LinkedIn, you know, some I never even heard of before, Twitcher, LinkedIn, Twitter. I mean, there's 30 different platforms I'm going to be on. So I'm going to check it out during the week to make sure that all my peoples, like Ronald McCready, all my peoples are able to access the Ron Kelly Show as easily as you are able to do it right now. Shout out to my brother, Ronald McCready, as a matter of fact. Always here. I need about 10 million more Ronald McCreadys, and I'll be on my way. Oh, yeah, by the way, the TikTok page is up and splashing. The Ron Kelly Show on TikTok. So you might be thumbing through those, you might be thumbing through the scantily clad chicks that that overwhelm that page, and you might run into me. So if you do, just go ahead and so if you do run into me on the Ron Kelly Show on TikTok, just like the page, you know, give a brother a like and a follow. I would greatly appreciate it. Also with YouTube, you can go over there and you can subscribe to the Ron Kelly Show YouTube page. All right, everybody, it's about 5 minutes past the hour. Still Black History Month. You know, we just be, you know, I just don't understand why we, you know, us in the Black community, it's just, and you know, and I love my peoples now, don't get me wrong, but somebody got to keep it 100. Somebody got to keep it real. We just give out stuff. Every time I turn around, somebody's being awarded something in the Black community. every time you turn around, and there's more about favoritism than everything else. It's not that the person actually did anything, because I mean, what has changed? This is what you have to look at. What has changed? What has, when you think about giving somebody something, when you think about, I got a whole closet full of awards, and they're in the closet. But what changed? Did the person affect any real change? And if they didn't, I don't think they deserve to get a reward. I mean, hey, I'm not hating. I mean, I'm not big on awards. I'm not big on awards, so I'm not being a hater. But every time we turn around, somebody's getting awarded something, this award, that award, and really didn't do anything. In my estimation, really didn't do anything. And I'm talking about people that I know, people that I've worked with, people who are in my Rolodex, so to speak. And every time I turn around, somebody's getting an award for something. What the hell did you do? You didn't do nothing. I mean, everything, things are in the community in which you live, things are still the same. So why I can't understand why people are always getting awards for stuff and nothing has changed, especially in the Black community. The views and opinions expressed here, of course, are exclusively those of myself, R. Kelly Media Enterprises, LLC, and not those of my advertisers or my support team. So welcome, everybody. You are watching, listening to, perusing, checking out, sampling the Ron Kelly Show. Okay, so it's still Black History Month. And I said to y'all last week how I felt about Black History Month. I don't see the point in let me get myself together here. I don't see the point in pointing out the contributions that Black folks have made in the United States of America in 1 month. It's the shortest month of the year, actually, the 28th, unless it's leap year. Then you get an extra day, it'll be the 29 days. But I just don't understand. I just don't see the point with I don't see the point with the Black History Month when and it's only for a month. So what happens in the other 11 months? Are we supposed to just, okay, we close the book on Black History Month for February. So what happens in March? What happens in April, May, June, July? And many of the things that you see on TV and stuff like that, it's a lot of the TV, the cable channels and some of the other, in the broadcast, ABC, NBC, CBS, are highlighting some of the contributions that Black folks have made in the greatness, the uniqueness of the United States of America. But do they really mean it? This is just window dressing. Like the NFL, for example, you see on the back of the helmets, end racism and all of this stuff. And it's just window dressing. It's just window dressing. Because in the latest, the coaching cycle, the Black Monday, and all the coaches get fired. So in the latest hiring cycle, there was one African-American who was chosen as a head coach, Lovie Smith, who I think deserves it. Lovie Smith, who was the head coach of the Chicago Bears, also was a head coach of Tampa Bay Buccaneers, failed miserably. I mean, you can't, sometimes, all you can do is stand on the sideline. I mean, there are some coaches who are just bad, but Lovie Smith wasn't a bad coach. As a matter of fact, when Lovie Smith got fired from the Bears, his record was 10-6, which was pretty damn good. So why would you fire somebody who had a record of 10-6? So congratulations, Lovie Smith is the head coach of the horrible Houston Texans. Maybe he can turn the thing around. Let's hope so. They're saying that Brian Flores was a. They're saying that Brian Flores was candidate. Shout out to Joanne Jackson. What's up, my sister? How are you? Good to see you. Glad your face is in the place. And shout out to Nikki Totten, who says, why am I so hard on the black race? You know what, Nikki Totten? Somebody has to be hard on the black race. Somebody has to be hard on the black race. We're the most innovative, the most inventive, the smartest, one of the smartest races on the planet. You know, and somebody has to be hard on the black race because we make excuses for everything. You know, oh well, you know, our kids are running around blowing people, shooting people because you know, because of family structure, because of the daddy was missing and the mom, you know, okay, that may be somewhat true, but it's not true across the board. Oh, you see the black kids running into the mall and snatching up coats and jackets and jewelry and whatever else. And oh, well, you know, it's because we make excuses for everything, Nikki Totten. We make excuses for everything. And I'm not hard on the black race, but somebody, we got to stop making excuses. We got to stop kowtowing. We got to stop. And people have to begin to start saying what needs to be said about the black community. I'm not hard on black. I love my people. I love my people. Shout out to my brother, Albert Vega, DJ Tiny, as he's known. I believe DJ Tiny is still on the dwildmusicradio.com. Check out his page, Albert Vega, and check out when he comes on. Spinning the wheels of steel. And shout out to Albert Vega, who says, my brother Ron says what other people are scared to say. And see, and that's the whole point. And what needs to be said. See, that's the whole point, Nikki Totten. And I love Nikki Totten. You know, I appreciate you, my sister. But thank you, Albert Vega. We have to begin to face what's going on in the black community. We have to face it. Like I said in my opening, about how every time we turn around, we're getting somebody's being awarded this award, that award in the black community. And what the hell did you do? You didn't do nothing. What changed? What actually changed? You shouldn't get an award for effort. You should get an award for result. Like the great, I can't think of his name right now. But yeah, every time we turn around, we're awarding somebody something. This award, that award. And I've gotten some awards where I didn't really think that, you know, I should have gotten. I got a closet full of awards. There's too many of them to put on the wall. Over the years, it's Ron Kelly's show and some of the things I've undertaken. And I don't know if I deserved every one of them, you know, because sometimes we give awards to people because we like them. You know, not that they did anything, it's because we like them. With Nikki Totten, love you, my sister. I love my black people. I love my black women. You know, I've never went across the tracks and tried to sample whatever was going on. I love my black people, but we gotta start, because there's cancel culture in the black community too. Let's get that straight. There's cancel culture in the black community. You will be ostracized. You will be pushed to the side. You will be left out of things if you say certain stuff. You know, because we like to point fingers. Oh, it's the government's fault. Oh, it's the mayor's fault. Oh, you know, it's always somebody else's fault besides ours. There's always somebody else's fault. You know, that the black community is the way it is, and we have to start. See, because if you're an addict, for example, you're an addict, or you're gambling, or whatever it is the case may be, and you have a problem. Until we accept that we have a problem, we're not going to be able to fix what ails the black community. We're not going to be able to fix it. Yeah. Until we can coexist peacefully together in the black community, poor, middle class, rich, until we are able to coexist peacefully with each other. I have the young boy in Paterson, New Jersey. Paterson is in New Jersey for our national, for the people who are listening in Tupelo, Mississippi. The young boy's helping his grandmother with groceries, gets shot in the head. Now look at all the gun crime. And these are not white folks that are doing this stuff. All the gun crime you see in New York, for example. You can't even walk the street, you can't even stand at the bus stop anymore. I just heard a few minutes before I went on the air about a lady who was shot in the head. The other two people who were in that area got shot in the back. And see, and these guys, these are black people that are doing this stuff. These ain't white people up in the Bronx shooting at each other or Queens. These are black people who are shooting at each other and don't care who gets in the way. The 11-year-old girl, I just heard something, 11-year-old girl shot in the head, killed, stray bullet. Another lady shot in the head, stray bullet. I mean, this stuff is real. See, Nikki Totten, so here's another excuse. Who put the guns and drugs in the community? See, that's another excuse. It's another excuse. So, because we say that, oh, well, white folks put crack in the community. I know where crack is, and I know where to get it, and I got money to buy it. But guess what? I don't smoke crack. The liquor store is right down the street. But guess what? I don't drink because that's my choice. So you say, and see, that's the classic excuse that white folks put drugs in the black community. Even if that's true, we don't have to use them. Even if that's true, we don't have to use them. It's 17 minutes past the hour. Thank you, Albert Vega. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Nikki. Yeah, I don't mind being challenged. Thank you, Nikki. I love you, my sister. I don't mind being challenged. Joanne Jackson, Ronald McCready, love all you guys. And the folks who are listening who I can't see, across the United States of America. Because there's people who Salt Lake City, Utah, who listen to the Ron Kelly Show, which I was completely shocked and floored by that. But yes, they do. And to Albert Vegas, yeah, people email me. I'm going to start posting some of the emails that I get. White folks who say, "Hey, look, you saying what needs to be said." White liberal white folks who are sympathetic to the black community, who email me and thank me for saying what needs to be said. Joanne Jackson says liquor stores on each corner. Yeah, there's liquor stores all over the place. You see, just because they put the stuff there, hey, there's a lot of churches in the black community, and I don't see nobody packing them out every week. There's a church on every corner too, but there's more participation with the liquor store than there is with the church. And I'm not, saying people ought to start going to church, but we gotta stop. See, and I appreciate you, Nikki, and thank you for your statement. I don't mean to demean what you said, Nikki Totten, because your input is valuable. Let me just say that. So if I don't agree with you, I don't mean to sound like I'm demeaning what you're saying, because your thoughts are valuable to me here on the Ron Kelly Show. So thank you for your comment. But that's another thing. Who put the guns and the drugs in the community? Because we know that black folks don't make guns. we know that. We don't manufacture guns. We don't manufacture anything, actually. And we know that black folks don't import drugs into the United States of America. We know that. But just because they put the guns and the drugs in our community doesn't mean that we have to use them. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come right back with more of this program. And before I bounce, I need to let you know that the views and opinions expressed here are exclusively those of myself and R. Kelly Media Enterprises, LLC, and are not those of my advertisers or my support team. So what we'll do is take a quick break. We'll come right back with more of this program. It's the Ron Kelly Show, everybody, and it's on YouTube, Facebook Live, and blogtalkradio.com. Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
Yes, it is the Ron Kelly Show, everybody. It's 20 and a half minutes past the hour. All right, it's that time of the year again. I'm still waiting for W-2s myself because I'm got a bunch of jobs. And it's that time of the year again. And if you're looking to get your taxes done with that personalized touch, then you can go over to my tax preparer, who the person that I use personally, Aaron Naza's Tax Service. Aaron Naza's Tax Service is your tax specialist and will answer all your questions and give your tax returns the attention they deserve. Located locally, 424 Lakeview Avenue in Clifton, New Jersey. Give them a call, 862-238-7548. That's 862-238-7548. Or 201-888-8011. That's 201-888-8011. And when you do, make sure to tell them you heard about it right here on the Ron Kelly Show for your special discount. Aaron Naza's Tax Service is your new tax preparation specialist at 21 minutes past the hour. Okay. Eastern time, that is. All right, so everybody, so welcome back from the break. It's the Ron Kelly Show, where we keep it real, where we keep it 100, as I like to say, and we say what needs to be said. Thank you to the folks who have chimed in so far here on the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. Yeah, so we know that black folks don't import drugs and billions and billions of dollars are made. Drug dealers, God only knows where they're from, Colombia or whatever, Mexico, who import these drugs into the United States of America. Now, the United States of America is the biggest drug. United States of America is the biggest drug consumer on the planet. The United States of America, is that because there's more money here than anywhere else? That could be too. But the United States of America is the biggest consumer of illegal drugs on the face of the earth. And just because drugs are imported here, but just because they bring them here, don't mean we have to use them, but we do. So yeah, so the United States is it's been for years. The United States has been the number one consumer of illegal drugs, fentanyl and coke and dope and some of the other drugs that are made here, oxycodone and some of these other things that are manufactured here in the United States of America. So yeah. And we need to start seeing what needs to be said, because there's a lot of folks on television, the Reverend Al Sharpton, and who I respect and I don't have anything against. Some of these other people who are on either on cable or network television, who are just, who and you take a look at the NFL Network, for example, NFL Network, where you have like 80% of the people, just like 70% of the football players are black. On the NFL Network, for example, I would say 70% of the commentators are black. They have they use mostly people who have played the game of football, for example. And and so nobody, I guess the memo is out that, the former NFL players who are on the NFL Network and some of these other, especially the NFL Networks, the NFL Network doesn't want their players, they don't want their people talking about what happened with Brian Flores. But you don't hear nothing. It's like, besides Stephen A., you don't hear nothing about what happened with the NFL, where out of the 8 jobs, 8 jobs that were opened, where the head coaches got fired. Out of those 8 jobs, there's one African American that was chosen to be a head coach. That was Lovie Smith, who I always admired. Lovie Smith, who I always thought was a good coach. He just had some bad results. But just because the team sucks doesn't always mean that the head coach is the problem. Sometimes, I mean, not all the time, but sometimes it does mean that, but not all the time. Anyway, everybody, it's 25 minutes past the hour. And ironically, the Miami Dolphins, this isn't a sports show. I'm just saying something about what happened. And ironically, the Miami Dolphins hired somebody who's biracial. So the Miami Dolphins, who fired Brian Flores and started the firestorm that's currently taking place in the NFL, the Miami Dolphins hired a head coach who is mixed race, black and white. I guess the joke's on us. So yeah. So yeah, the issues. All right. I lost my place. Yeah. So Black History Month, and I've been called every name in the book here on the radio show. I mean, y'all have been nice, but so I don't mind people disagreeing with me about some of the things that I say because dialogue is how we solve our problems. We don't really talk to each other that much, but dialogue is how we solve our problems, through dialogue, through conversation. See, because what happens is we don't dialogue, and you can look on Facebook, you see the friction that takes place sometimes when somebody says something and then you go on their feed and you present an alternate theory of the crime, and then the people get mad. They get mad like we're not talking about that. We're talking about this. I mean, so just because you're saying something, that means that we're supposed to talk. We're supposed to stay on that subject. No, I think that if you put it out there, and if somebody else has a difference of opinion, then they should be able to go on that feed and they should be able to express their opinion about what you said. But it doesn't work for a lot of us. It doesn't work for a lot of us. Nikki Totten says Byron Allen's preparing a bid for the Denver Broncos. Let's see where that goes. Yeah, Brian. Yeah, he can't buy the team outright, Byron Allen. But it'll be him and Nikki Totten. Thank you for your comment. It'll be Byron Allen and an assortment, hopefully of black folks, wealthy black folks, because it's Byron Allen, and then there's another man who's a billionaire, another black man who's a billionaire who created who works on Wall Street, who's a venture capitalist. I can't think of his name right now. African-American man. So So Nikki Totten, Byron Allen cannot buy the team outright. He's just too much money. The team is worth a little under $4 billion, and Byron Allen doesn't have $4 billion cash to put up for the team. So he'll be the first majority owner, and there's a bunch of majority owners in the NFL right now. There are teams where, like some of the teams, like Jerry Jones, for example, owns the Dallas Cowboys. There's no minority because he bought the team 20-something years ago for $300 million, and the team is worth billions now, and he bought it by himself. So Byron Allen is not going to buy the Denver Broncos by himself, but that would be great. That would be great to have a black face amongst the 32 faces that sit at the conference table when the owners meet. There's no black owners there. There's no black minority owners there. So that would be nice if Byron Allen could come up with the cash or come up with a group that can come up with the cash to purchase the Denver Broncos. Yeah, let's see where that goes. That would be great. That would be great to have him there. But when I look at milestones and stuff like that, I look at what the impact on the black community. What would be the impact in the black community? What would because we've had so many opportunities in the black community. We've had so many opportunities. We've had so many milestones, like things have happened. They probably should have inspired the black community to move forward, and it just hasn't. When Dr. Martin Luther King died, was assassinated by the filthy white man. When Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated, the movement died. That was it. When Dr. King was assassinated, the movement died. We had the riots, and we had, Newark and LA and some of the other places, Chicago. We had the riots. We burnt down half the country. And then the movement died. And it was 54 years ago. And the movement died. It just died. Yeah, we had the Reverend Al Sharpton and ancillary people, the Reverend Al Sharpton, some of the other folks, Jesse Jackson, some of the other so-called black leaders, and everything just died. We haven't had a movement since the death of Dr. Martin Luther King. There's been no movement. Many of our people were given TV shows and they don't, and they're obligated. So they can't really say what they really want to say. Joy Reid and I like Joy Reid. Don't get me wrong. I like Joy Reid. But her and Reverend Al, MSNBC and some of the other speakers, black folks get on TV. You can't say what you want to say. That's what I like about being on this radio show, because I can say whatever I want. There won't be any repercussions, besides like people sending me hate emails and stuff. But once you get on television, black folks get on television or get in, or become a politician or get into a position, the public, become a public figure. You can't say what you want to say. No, you can't say what needs to be said. Some of these folks, as you look on TV and you see, Nate Burleson now is on CBS Mornings, this guy who usually is on the NFL Today on CBS. Yeah, he's got a job. Yeah. Nikki Totten says it's for the love of money to keep smoking. Right, exactly. Because you don't want to say thank you, Nikki Totten. You people, you don't want to say right, or you get blackballed because people don't want to say what needs to be said because they want to protect their positions. So black folks, when they, and I'm talking even on a local level, like assembly people, county commissioners, mayors, council people, they don't say what needs to be said because they're afraid. As Nikki Totten says, let me put her comment back up here. Yeah, it's for the love of money that keeps black folks quiet. So that's what they do. They give you stuff, put them on TV. That'll shut them up. And they'll only go but so far in saying what needs to be said. Like Reverend Al Sharpton, for example. And I like Reverend Al Sharpton. Don't get me wrong. I have nothing against Reverend Al Sharpton, but he's been, and I'm not saying that the MSNBC is nefarious and they where they conspiracy to shut black folks up. But when black folks make it, they stop advocating, they stop saying what needs to be said once they make it. And if they make it and they do say stuff, they wind up like Harry Belafonte, or even though he's like very old, he winds up like we know when black folks say what needs to be said, or they step outside that comfort zone, they wind up getting blackballed. You don't hear from them again. I mean, they're embraced by, like for the football, like for the Kaepernick, for example. Yeah, he's embraced by the liberals on the other side, but and he's still young enough to play football. And when Kaepernick came out and started talking about police killings, that was in his career. But you know what? And even though he did that, I mean, he shed light on that. But black folks, Amir Locke, the young black man, 22 years old, was killed by Minneapolis police. And Minneapolis police were conducting a raid for St. Paul. So it wasn't even, and the young black man, Amir Locke, wasn't even the target of the warrant, because what happened, they had a no-knock warrant, and you can see the body cam. You can see the cops sticking a key in the door and opening it very nicely and going in. And when they went in, Amir Locke, a 22-year-old innocent young man, Amir Locke was in on the couch. Now, the back of the couch was facing the front, was facing the door. So when the police rolled up in the crib, they saw it was the back of the couch. But they came in yelling, search warrant, and Amir Locke was asleep. So what happened was, now when he woke up, he grabbed his gun, which is what I would have done. Because I own and I carry a firearm. And when the police went into the place where Amir Locke was sleeping, they were yelling, search warrant, get on the floor, yada, yada. And which is like, somebody come in my door, and I don't keep my gun near me when I'm in the house, but somebody comes into my door yelling, and I don't know what's going on. If my gun is right there on the nightstand, yeah, I'm going to grab it, because I don't know what's going on, because you're just waking up out of a deep sleep or whatever the case may be. So Amir Locke woke up, and he must have had his gun with him on the couch. And so when Amir Locke picked up his gun, and you can see that, first of all, Amir Locke had a permit to carry a weapon. He was legal. So it wasn't like they can't flip the script on Amir Locke, because Amir Locke was legal. He owned his gun legally, and he had a permit to carry his weapon, CCW. And you can see on the body cam with Amir Locke, and you can see he had the gun in his hand. I'll concede that point. But he had his finger on his side, his trigger finger along the side of the gun, which we're all taught to do, which I do if I ever have to pull out my gun. You never put your finger on the trigger. You keep your finger off the trigger. And he was killed. 22 years old, innocent, had no skin in the game, had no was not a subject of the warrant. had a gun permit, was legal, and was killed. Amir Locke. I don't know. I haven't really seen much of it, much talk about it on Facebook. But the young man Amir Locke, L-O-C-K-E, was killed, murdered by Minneapolis police. Minneapolis again. Shout out to Steve Mayrand. Yeah, absolutely. Just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Amir Locke. And I don't see too many people talking about it. Too many black folks. You know, I guess taking pictures of that food, what I'm eating. Look at me, I'm eating. You know, there's people who ain't eating. I see homeless people with phones. And I know them homeless people be on Facebook. They be seeing y'all, oh, look at me. I got this, I got that, I got the other. You know, next time you want to take some of that food down to the shelter. Take some of that food down to the food bank. You know what I'm saying? Give somebody else some of this. Stop bragging on Facebook about what you got. Okay, it's 20 minutes before the hour. We'll take another quick break and we'll come right back with the rest of this program. Shout out to Steve Mayman. Thank you for checking me out. Yeah, Nikki Totten. I'll address Nikki Totten. Nikki Totten had a great question. I'll address that as soon as we come back. It's the Ron Kelly Show, everybody. And it's on blogtalkradio.com and RonKellyShow.com. All right, everybody, welcome back. It's the Ron Kelly Show, and it's on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, and blogtalkradio.com. You know, 41 years, America and Porterfield Transportation. Now, America and Porterfield Transportation, before I go any further, it's a minority-owned, 41 years, minority-owned America and Porterfield Transportation. Minority-owned America and Porterfield Transportation has provided safe, clean, reliable transportation to and from your destination. America and Porterfield, minority-owned America and Porterfield Transportation provides service to schools, churches, and medical transportation as well. Licensed to operate in the state of New Jersey, licensed to operate by the New Jersey State Department of Transportation. Their late model fleet of buses and vehicles will make sure you get to and from your destination safely, and their courteous drivers will see to your needs during your transportation experience. They are located at 307 Arlington Avenue in Plainfield, New Jersey. So give them a call. 908-753-6423. That's 908-753-6423. Or you can email them at america.porterfield@verizon.net. That's america.porterfield@verizon.net. And you tell them that you heard about this right here on Ron Kelly Show. And I thank Aaron Now's Tax Service and American Porterfield Transportation for sponsoring. Oh, I almost couldn't get it out. The Ron Kelly Show. Now Nikki Totten says, wasn't the no-knock warrant outlawed there in Minneapolis? Great question. And no, I mean, there was a special circumstance. See, they didn't do it completely like Breonna Taylor, where Breonna Taylor lived. They outlawed it completely, but in Minneapolis, they didn't outlaw it completely. They left it open for special circumstances. So, you know, and because I thought that too, I'm like, wait a minute, because when I first heard about Amir Locke murdered by the Minneapolis Police Department, I'm thinking like, wait a minute, didn't they outlaw the no-knock warrant? So I was thinking the same thing, Nikki Totten. I was thinking the same thing. And no, when I looked back again before, you know, my preparation for the program, they left the door open for special circumstances. So we want to get them special Negroes. So we need to keep that open. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, so no, it wasn't outlawed completely. They left it open for special circumstances because we need to run it. We need to catch them Negroes. So we're gonna leave the door cracked open just a little bit. So when we got to run up in them black folks in them Negroes houses, we still need this. We still need the no-knock warrant for the Negroes. That's basically what it's for. And see, and a lot of people are not going to say. See, they're not going to say that. See, the people on MSNBC and Fox 5 and some of the other places, they're not going to say that. They're not going to say that. The people in power, the people who have the millions of followers, are not going to say that. They're not going to say that. You see, because when the Ron Kelly show explodes, which I suspect it will probably this year, I'm still going to say what I need to say. But there will be advertisers, and there will be, there will be advertisers, and there will be people who will tell me that, listen, we don't want you to say certain things. I've already gone through that where people have people who sponsored the show or networks that I've been on over my career have said, hey, we don't, you can't say that. You can't say that, that Minneapolis police murdered the young man, 22 years old, Amir Locke. You can't say that. So Me Too will have to, like if somebody wants to give me $100 million, so you have to decide between, you have to decide between, and I understand that some of these folks, you have to decide between, your lifestyle, your pocket, and your passion. You have to decide between your pocket and your passion. And one day I may have to make a decision about that. Nikki Totten says, now, when you have a license to carry, who's at fault? Or is it, or will his killing be justified? Well, what's going to happen? See, now him having a life. See, Amir Locke's reputation is bulletproof, Nikki Totten. It's bulletproof because they can't say that he was a gang member. They can't say he was carrying the gun illegally. See, because that would just give him an out right there. That would give him an out. They'd be like, okay, well, yeah. That would give them an out right there. That if he was a criminal or criminal-minded, that would give them an out. But they don't have the out because he wasn't the subject of the warrant. He had a licensed firearm. So that takes the whatever out that they would have had, they don't have it. So yeah. See, with the police, it's always somebody else's fault. With the police department, it's always somebody else's fault. And see, the Minneapolis Police Department can't spin this. They can't spin this one because what happened was Rudy Giuliani, when he had the black coloring running down the side of his face. Rudy Giuliani started the victim approach. Rudy Giuliani started that. Rudy Giuliani was mayor back in the 90s. I believe it was the 90s. There was a altercation between a police officer and a black man. Patrick Dorismond was the black man. Patrick Dorismond, who was killed by a police officer over an argument for a parking space. Patrick Dorismond was the black man who was killed by a white police officer fighting over a parking space. Rudy Giuliani was the mayor of New York City at the time. This happened in New York. So what Rudy Giuliani did, which was completely illegal, was released the juvenile record of Patrick Dorismond, because he had a couple of, misdemeanor things that he did when he was a juvenile. I mean, we all do. And Rudy Giuliani started that, dirtying the victim, throwing shade on the victim. That was Rudy Giuliani. And it worked because the police officer was exonerated, which police officers get exonerated most of the time, except for when it's something egregious, like the one police officer who was pulling women over and raping them, or, you got to do something really bad in order to go to prison, in order for a police officer to go to prison. So, yeah, because the police are involved, well, let me say this, Nikki Totten. We know it's not Amir Locke's fault. That we know. It's not Amir Locke's fault. See, so all the light shines on the police department, the Minneapolis Police Department, who kill people, black folks. Now, it's hard to see. The way I look at it, the Minneapolis Police Department is at fault. Straight up, because the way I look at it, as somebody who's licensed to carry a firearm, it's the Minneapolis Police Department's fault that Amir Locke is dead. And the police will find a way to justify these shootings, Nikki Totten, in answer to your question. The police departments will find ways to justify these shootings. They will find a way to justify the shootings. So it's not, when the police are involved, it's not so black and white. It's not so, you can't just come up with an answer. But as far as I'm concerned, Nikki, the Minneapolis Police Department are completely the Minneapolis Police Department are completely guilty, 100%, and they're at fault in the death of Amir Locke. So there'll be another big payout, and I don't mean to make light of what happened to the young brother, 22 years old, life snuffed out by the evil Minneapolis Police Department. Shout out to Steve Mayrant, who says the only problem with that, my brother, they don't see our license to carry the firearm. They just see a black man with a firearm. Exactly. They see a black man with a firearm. And see, because when I'm on duty, when I'm out there and I'm on duty doing armed security, whatnot, if I have to call the police, I let them know I'm there. If I have to call the police to come to my, if I have to call the police, Steve Mayrant, if I have to call the police to come to my post, I let them know I'm there. I'm a black man, I'm armed security guard, I'm wearing this, that, and the other. And I let them know. Because what they're gonna do now, I say show up and they see me with a gun, and I don't have, and I'm not a police officer. Boom. Yeah. So yeah, that's right, Steve Mayrant. Yeah, so that's what I do. When I call the police, I let them know that I'm armed and what I'm wearing. Because they'll come, black ones too. Let's not excuse black police because they'll shoot you too. And I let the police know when I call 911 for whatever. Or sometimes it's not the biggest emergency, so I'll call the regular phone number. And I let them know, hey, I'm an African, I'm a black man, I'm wearing boots and cinch pants, and I have on a vest, and I am armed. Absolutely, Steve Mayrant, because we have to protect ourselves. And that's part of, thank you for that, Steve Mayrant and Nikki Totten. See, that's part. When you have a license to carry and you get killed, depending on the circumstance, and see, because it depends on the circumstances. It depends on the circumstances. Now, they're going to say, and the police are really good at justifying these killings. What they're going to say is, oh, well, he popped up from underneath the blanket and he had a gun in his hand, so I shot him. I was in fear of my life, once again. And this is what the police are going to do. They're going to try and justify. And now, in my estimation, there's no way you can justify that. The Minneapolis Police Department are responsible for the death of Amir Locke. Straight up, that far as I'm concerned. But it's going to be up to the jury. It's going to be up to the district attorney or the state's attorney in this instance. It's going to be up to. I mean, thank God that we have. Thank God that we have a attorney general in the state of Minnesota, the former congressman who oversaw the killing of Jacob Blake. Yeah, so thank God we have Keith Ellison, who is going to take over the investigation. Keith Ellison is 2-0. Keith Ellison 2-0. There's two police officers. There's the female police officer who said taser, 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 and pulled out a gun. You didn't know it was a gun, and she was convicted. And the other cop who kneeled down on the brother, he was convicted as well. So Keith Ellison, the Attorney General for the state of Minnesota, is going to be heading up the investigation into the death of young 22-year-old licensed to carry a firearm, Amir Locke. Steve Mayrant says, yeah, the company line. Right, exactly. Shout out to Bunny McKnight, my brother, who says, why didn't they double check? They were in the right place, brother. Bunny McKnight. Thank you, my brother, for your comment. It's about 3 minutes before the hour. They were in the right place, Bunny McKnight. They were in the right place. Now, Amir Locke was in the wrong place. I mean, not that he didn't have the right to be there. He had every right to be there. But the police, it was the right address. It was the right address. But Amir Locke is in the way. But it was the right address. So it wasn't like they went to the wrong house. No, it wasn't that. They were at the right house. It's just that Amir Locke just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, basically. But yeah, so this is, and I don't see nobody talking about this. I don't see nobody talking about this. It's, look, I got a new car, I got a new house, look what I'm eating, I'm at this restaurant here, I'm on vacation, yada, yada, yada. I haven't seen nothing about this young brother, Amir Locke, who was murdered. And we still have this going on. The murder of African Americans by police officers is still raging on, despite all that people say is being done. And I wonder if old boy is going to be there, the lawyer. I can't think of his name right now. I wonder what his net worth is. Because every time you turn around, every time somebody gets killed, every time something happens, he shows up on the set. So I'm wondering what his bottom line is. Anyway, everybody, it's about 20 seconds left. So thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you and all the folks who I couldn't see who view the Ron Kelly Show every week. So I tell you what, we'll see you back here next week for another edition of the Ron Kelly Show. So until then, I like to say that it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And that we may not have it all together, but together we can certainly have it all. Thank you so much. I think I'm done.